a pipe was seen going underground. Quite a surprising sight, because the location was an old dead volcano, now fully covered with grass and trees. To see what was inside, a night vision camera was sent through the pipe. About 30 meters deep, the camera captured the view of a massive tunnel. This happened in March 2018, near the city of Lublin in southern Poland, and the excavation team was about to witness something extraordinary. As the camera explored the tunnel, it revealed rail tracks, and not far off, a mine cart caught their attention. Once local authorities were informed, they arrived with an old World War II-era tunnel map. It turned out that this was a tunnel built nearly 80 years ago during World War II, and officials had been searching for it for years. The tunnel's entrance had been sealed with large stones, and over time, dirt, grass, and debris had completely camouflaged it. But the inside perfectly matched the map. The presence of rail tracks and a mine cart suggested this tunnel was used for storing equipment during the war. Most metal tools inside were now rusted. Shovels, drill bits, and pickaxes, found exactly as Nazi soldiers had left them decades ago. During World War II, as Nazi Germany and Japan fought against the Allied forces, like the USA and Britain, Hitler's army constructed thousands of underground bunkers. Although Hitler initiated it, later Allied forces also started using bunkers and tunnels for strategic purposes. These bunkers served both defensive and offensive roles. Some protected soldiers from airstrikes and artillery shells, while others were used to launch surprise attacks. Frontline defensive bunkers were designed to withstand enemy assaults, like Germany's Atlantic Wall, a huge fortification to block Allied invasions. Some bunkers also served as command centers for strategic military planning. So many underground bunkers and war rooms were built during World War II that it's impossible to count them all today. Many remain buried and undiscovered. It's said that the Axis and Allied powers spent so much on bunkers that it caused a global shortage of steel and concrete. According to estimates, the construction of all WWII bunkers cost somewhere between $500 billion to $1 trillion in today's money. To put that in perspective, the Afghanistan war cost the U.S. $300 million per day, while WWII bunker building cost about $460 million daily. And that's just for construction, not counting manpower, logistics, or ammunition. Now let's explore a few of history's most significant bunkers. The Atlantic Wall, a massive coastal defense system built by Nazi Germany, stretching 2,400 miles, 3,800 kilometers across Europe's coastlines. Built between 1940 and 1944, it included thousands of bunkers, ammo depots, and fortresses, including parts in northern France's Normandy, where Longues-sur-Mer artillery batteries were located. The wall was meant to resist Allied naval invasions, and Norway had its share, especially around Kristiansand, protecting important naval routes. In the Netherlands, also under Nazi control, thousands of bunkers called Seifanlagen were constructed along the North Atlantic coast. The Atlantic Wall, with its extensive bunkers, tunnels, and fortifications, was designed and built by the organization Todt, led by German engineer Fritz Todt. More than 260,000 workers, mostly forced laborers and prisoners, built these structures in just 2 to 4 years. Today, parts of the Atlantic Wall still stand as historical monuments, reminders of World War II's massive engineering efforts and costs. Dieppe Raid, 1942, wake-up call for the Allies. The Canadian forces, part of the Allies, launched a raid on Dieppe, France, to test the Atlantic Wall's defenses. Known today as the Dieppe Raid, it failed miserably. The heavily fortified bunkers crushed the assault, killing or capturing over 3,600 Allied soldiers. The Allies were stunned and realized they had underestimated Germany's defenses. This led to massive investments by the UK, France, the Soviet Union, and Canada in their bunkers and tunnels, Churchill War Rooms, UK. An underground complex used by British Prime Minister Winston Churchill as a protected headquarters during the war, designed to resist Nazi airstrikes. Maginot Line, France. Originally built after World War I, France later added underground bunkers and tunnels to it. But in World War II, Germany bypassed it by invading through Belgium, rendering it ineffective. Japanese underground defense, Iwo Jima and Okinawa, Japan, Hitler's ally, built hundreds of bunkers and tunnels, especially on Iwo Jima, complete with hidden artillery, storage rooms, and living quarters for soldiers. In Okinawa, even more massive and complex tunnel systems were built, housing thousands of Japanese troops ready for defense and resistance. These systems were meant to delay Allied advances and cause maximum casualties. The engineering feat of World War II bunkers. Despite shortages of materials, constant airstrike threats, and many workers dying from suffocation or collapse, thousands of bunkers were still built. Many of these bunkers, especially those made by the Axis powers, remain hidden underground, either because soldiers sealed them off while fleeing or died inside, never to be found again. Finding them today is difficult because their locations were kept secret, and any Nazi government documents that revealed them were either destroyed or hidden. Plus, these bunkers were camouflaged into natural surroundings, with vegetation and terrain carefully restored above them to avoid detection from above. Bunker ventilation systems. Special air systems were installed to circulate fresh air and remove carbon dioxide, vital for underground survival. Hitler's personal bunker Eagle's Nest, Kehlstein House in Berchtesgaden, a mountaintop retreat used for meetings and rest. It had bomb-proof construction using granite and concrete. Führerbunker in Berlin. This was Hitler's main wartime headquarters, built to survive bombing and artillery. He spent his final days here and died on April 30th, 1945. Today, it's completely buried and invisible above ground. Wolf's Lair, Wolfschanze. Located in the forests of northern Germany, this fortress-like bunker was more like a castle. It had 7-meter thick ceilings, a thick gravel layer, and chemical attack-resistant steel doors. The roof was covered with soil and plants to make it invisible from the air. D-Day. Breaking the Atlantic Wall. To breach Hitler's Atlantic Wall, the Allies used 156,000 troops, 5,000 ships, and 11,000 aircraft on June 6, 1944, known as D-Day. Despite early heavy losses, the Allied airstrikes, paratroopers, and strategies eventually broke through the Nazi defenses and started the liberation of Europe. We hope you enjoyed this in-depth historical video. Please like, share, and leave your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see you in the next amazing episode.